This morning I'm going to make some garlic herb bread for croutons. So in a bowl I am going to add 1 cup of warm water, about 110 degrees, 1 packet of instant dry yeast, and 2 tablespoons of sugar, and let that sit for 5 to 10 minutes until it becomes foamy. Make sure your water's not too hot because it'll kill the yeast. So 110 degrees is the perfect temperature. Once the yeast is foamy, you're going to add in 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 3 cups of flour, and about a half a cup or so of Parmesan cheese, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon or so of basil, 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, and then I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of thyme and a half a teaspoon of dried rosemary. And you can add any flavorings to this bread you want, really, whatever herbs you like. And also 1 teaspoon of salt. And using a wooden spoon, I'm just going to mix this until the dough all comes together. And if you need to use your hands, go ahead. They're your best kitchen tool. But once the dough is all together, pour it out onto a lightly floured surface and knead it for about 5 or 6 minutes until it's smooth but still elasticy. And then put some oil in a bowl. I'm using the same bowl that I used before. I'm just going to oil it, and I'm going to put the dough right in there and cover it with a towel and let it set for about an hour until it doubles in size. And then punch it down, roll it around in the dough. And then if you're going to use this for sandwich bread, you want to form it into a pretty loaf. But again, I'm going to make croutons, so I'm just going to press it into my loaf pan, not worrying about the shape of the top. I'm going to cover it and let it sit for another 35 or so minutes. And then I previously had preheated my oven to 375, and I'm going to bake it for 30 minutes. And then I am going to pour it out onto a plate. And you should let it cool before you cut into it, but that's just not who I am. So I'm going to cut into this to give it a taste. And it is piping hot. But look at all those herbs all in that bread. This is going to be so delicious. And of course, you have to put some butter on it to taste it because everything's better with butter. And again, this bread would be so good with pasta, but I'm going to make croutons for salads. But either way, give it a try. Let me know. Enjoy!